Hi, this is Christian Del G. Maninit. The question is, have you ever said something about someone's culture only to realize that it could have been offensive? Let's go! So here we are at the staircase and shortly we'll be looking for our first interviewees. And it just so happens that we have our two lucky people. Excuse me, ma'am, sir, can we have a little bit of your time just to conduct a short interview?
Sure.
So here we have
I'm Samantha.
Benedict Balayan. Christian De La Cruz.
Ali Lopez.
Jeremy.
si Sam ay isang
BSIT AGD.
PSIT student in specialization of AGD. PSPA OM student.
Same question, same po.
PSIT.
Have you ever said something about someone's culture and didn't realize only until later that it was actually offensive?
My personal experience is when I mentioned a stereotype that I heard about a certain ethnic group, and later I realized it was offensive. And from that moment, I started to be careful, mindful, and respect others' culture.
Well, not entirely. When I was younger, we visit abroad from two other countries, and one time I saw let's say a white male. So I assumed that he speaks English, and I went and speak. I went up to him and tried to strike up a conversation, but I turns out that he doesn't speak any English, and the worst part is he's Asian too.
Yeah. Actually, when I was in Dubai, I had this friend. He was from the US and he was actually from Ghana and he transferred to Dubai. So there was this time where we were eating and I just made a joke and I said, as far as I can remember, I said like, at least I could swim. And you know the stereotypical things that they said about black people where they can't swim. So after that, I thought about it. And if that was a different person or someone else might have heard it, you know, it might be bad for me. So yeah.
So, when I was 12 years old, so I am engaged in Facebook and I told this one internet friend who happened to live in Malaysia. And I just automatically assumed that every Asian food, including our food in Philippines, are the same. So when I grew up, maybe when I was 17, so I may realize that it is a mistake. So I may have been cancelled out or something.
I made a joke about someone's skin color without realizing it was offensive. So I learned to be more respectful and mindful of my words.
Our group of Have You 101 are asking the question, have you ever offended someone's culture intentionally or even unintentionally? Personally, I remember playing a game or a little nursery rhyme called My Mommy is Chinese, my daddy is Japanese, and I look like this, and you pull your eyes to make them very stereotypical and East Asian. I understood growing up that that's kind of offensive, especially seeing other people in the world. So why don't we go and ask other students what their experiences were like? Let me ask you a question. Have you ever intentionally or unintentionally hurt someone's feelings or culture before?
Absolutely. Once I was talking to a Jewish person, right? And we came to the topic of wealth. And I said, of course you'd be rich. And I'm sorry, I didn't mean it by that. I just meant you're studious, you know, you're smart, but I think he took it the wrong way. He thought it was because of his culture.
Alright, thank you so much. Have you ever offended someone's culture before?
I think when I was a kid, I think I offended someone on the internet because back then I didn't know what race they are, so I would assume that every Asian is like Chinese or Korean. But in reality, I figured out that at least at that night, I figured that it's really offensive that I didn't know, but I should have asked first. So yes, I did unintentionally offend someone on the internet.
Alright, thank you so much. Have you ever unintentionally hurt someone's feelings or culture before?
I never actually intentionally hurted someone before, but I did participate on some borderline racist jokes or stereotyping someone's race jokingly because I thought it was normal or like being accepted uh, culturally or socially in this world today.
Thank you. Have you ever unintentionally offended someone's culture before?
Yes, but it's not unintentional, it's intentional. But for me, I really don't care about their culture or beliefs as long it doesn't involve me. So I just go with the flow with whatever what I say to them.
All right, thank you. Have you ever hurt someone's culture or feelings unintentionally?
Yes, I did. But I was a kid and I didn't know what I was doing. So we were just playing, and there's one kid who has darker skin, and we, I wasn't really like talking anything about him, but the others were started to tease him about his skin color, and then yes, and we started to like tease him about it and mock him about it, and that's not. I didn't know what I was saying, and yeah.
A common experience. Thank you so much. Have you ever hurt someone's feelings or offended someone's culture?
Uh, Not really, because when I was a kid, I used to say ching chong a lot, and when I got older, I didn't know it was really racist. So now I don't really say it often now.
Thank you. Have you ever unintentionally or intentionally hurt or offended someone's culture before?
Not necessarily, but you know, when in the elementary days that we say ching chong to someone that's singket, I did that before, but distinctly remember my mother saying that my grandmother is part Chinese, so I'm part Chinese, and that's why I stopped doing it.
Thank you so much. Have you ever offended or hurt someone's culture before, even intentionally or unintentionally?
Specifically the French language. So I noticed something that they usually use a lot of silent letters. So in frustration, because I can't pronounce French words, I started pronouncing them in silence, in full-on silence. I only recently found out that was like offensive on the language.
Okay, thank you so much. Unintentionally or maybe even intentionally, have you ever offended someone's culture before?
Oh yes, I did. Actually, a couple of times, but it's more on, let's say in elementary school. Since like most of my classmates, we kind of just label it as normal teasing. Kasi since we have a Japanese classmate, like two of them actually. And you know their eyes, right? It's not really So we always tease them about that, like when they smile, like can they even see anything? Like, and I would just laugh along because I didn't know that that was kind of racist. Like I didn't know it, like maybe until high school when I realized like, oh, that's actually offensive. So I stopped doing it. And lastly, I think there's another one. Like you know the N word. I didn't know that that was racist. So I just laugh a lot. Like, why is that even offensive in the first place? Because people were like saying, wait, that's offensive. Oh, I didn't know. And then I just stopped using it.
Okay. Glad that you learned.
And that's it for our words we didn't know hurt. We've heard plenty of experiences, comprehensive even, starting from saying an offensive word to someone's skin color, generalizing a person's capability to what is common to their culture, and even having baseless assumptions to a person's or another person's skill set. But most importantly, these experiences said by our interviewees are words that had only been understood and uncovered once they have been reflected. This brings us to realize that often there are words that hide in semblance, where they may sound sweet and kind, but once uncovered, they are sharp as knife. So it helps us to realize that we also have to consider being considerate and sensitive to what we say. So, how about you? Have you ever said something offensive to another person's culture?